Breaking news. The news no Penrith Panthers fan wanted to hear has just dropped, and honestly, I could barely believe it myself. I'm about to tell you everything, but before we get into it, make sure you smash that like button because here you stay fully updated with all the latest Panthers news. Panthers mate Brian Tuo, a symbol of toughness, explosiveness, and loyalty on the field, could be edging closer to a split with the Penrith Panthers. Reports have now revealed that the superstar is not expected to renew his contract beyond 2027. And what's even more worrying for the fans is that many people around the league are already treating this possible exit as just the beginning of a major shakeup inside Penrith's champion squad. There had already been speculation that he could eventually move to another club, but now, with this latest information, it's starting to feel like it could be the real deal. When we talk about Brian Tuo, we're not just talking about a talented winger. We are talking about a player who became the face of the club's winning rebuild. A bloke who helped turn Penrith into a modern NIL powerhouse. A name that was there in the biggest battles, the pressure games, the grand finals, the historic runs, and the moments when the team needed someone willing to throw everything on the line for the badge. That's exactly why this news has hit Panthers fans like an absolute bombshell. According to sources close to the player, Tuo has reportedly already decided that he won't stay at the club once his current deal expires in 2027. And even though there's still time left on that contract, internally the Panthers are already beginning to accept that keeping the superstar looks unlikely. The feeling behind the scenes is one of resignation. This isn't being viewed as a maybe anymore. Around the league, many people are already treating it as almost certain. But there's another detail that's worrying Panthers fans even more. A lot of NIL analysts believe Brian Tuo could be just the first domino to fall. That phrase has been doing the rounds heavily in Australia. Because financially, the club is facing a brutal reality when it comes to retaining elite talent. Over the last few years, Penrith achieved something incredibly rare in the modern NIL era, building a dominant dynasty mostly developed from within. Players produced through the club's own system became champions, fan favorites, and international stars. But success always comes with consequences. The more premierships you win, the more valuable your players become. And once that happens, rival clubs start throwing around massive offers. Of course, Penrith still has unbelievable talent. The club still has one of the strongest systems in the competition. The winning mentality is still deeply built into the Panthers culture. But losing iconic players changes any sporting organization, especially when we are talking about players who carry such a deep emotional connection with the fans. And social media is already showing exactly how emotional this situation has become. Some fans are in complete shock. Others are still hoping there could somehow be a late twist. Some are blaming the NIL salary cap. Others believe the club should do absolutely everything possible to keep Brian Tuo for the rest of his career. And I genuinely want to know your honest opinion, Panthers fans. Do you think the club should do whatever it takes to keep Brian Tuo until retirement? Or do you understand that this kind of change is simply part of the modern NIL reality? Drop your thoughts in the comments because your opinion matters massively in this huge discussion that's shaking the entire fanbase right now. Round pushpin, and while you're commenting, I've got another massive update to tell you. Casey McClean, one of the most exciting young talents at the Penrith Panthers, has just pulled off one of the biggest surprise stories of the season after officially being selected for State of Origin I. And what made the story even bigger is that several Australian rugby league experts are all saying the exact same thing. The selection was fully deserved. Yes, Panthers fans, the young gun who not long ago was still being labelled just a future prospect, is now being recognised as a player ready for the biggest stage in Australian rugby league. The truth is, Casey McClean's Origin call-up caught a lot of people around the NRL by surprise. Not because the kid lacked talent, far from it. Anyone closely following Penrith could already see months ago that there was something special about him. What shocked parts of the Australian media was just how quickly everything happened. State of Origin doesn't usually hand opportunities to young players easily. That arena is built for hardened athletes used to insane pressure, maximum intensity, and heavy criticism. It's an environment where even experienced veterans can crumble. That's why when a young player like Casey McClean suddenly appears on that list, the entire league immediately starts paying attention. Over the last few hours, commentators, former players, and NIL experts have been strongly reacting to the Panthers youngsters' selection. And one word keeps popping up again and again across Australian sports shows: deserved. That word has basically become unanimous. Because despite the surprise factor, many people inside the league believe Casey McClean had already been showing clear signs that he was ready for a challenge this big. And the most impressive part is that the praise isn't only about his physical talent. What experts seem most blown away by is his emotional maturity. In a sport as mentally brutal as rugby league, that matters enormously. What really shook the rugby league world was the way analysts reacted to the announcement. There wasn't some huge debate questioning whether he deserved it. In fact, it was the opposite. A lot of respected figures in Australian sports media immediately started arguing that Casey had been knocking on the door for weeks already. Experts see qualities in him that are incredibly hard to find in young players. Explosive athleticism, sharp game awareness, competitive intensity and, maybe most importantly, personality. And perhaps that last trait is the one standing out most. Casey plays like someone who isn't scared of the big stage. And right now, Panthers fans may be witnessing the birth of a brand new star right before their eyes. So now I want your honest opinion, Panthers fans. Do you believe Casey McClean can become one of the biggest names of the next NRL generation? And did this origin selection shock you, or was it only a matter of time? Drop your thoughts below because your opinion matters massively during what could be the beginning of a huge career. And of course, make sure you leave a like and subscribe right now because the behind-the-scenes drama around the Pernith Panthers is about to go absolutely crazy over the next few weeks, and you won't want to miss any updates involving Casey McClean, state of origin and everything shaking up the NRL during this massive moment for the Panthers.